Hey there everybody, it's John, and today is day 83 of my 100-day juice feast. And I wanted to do a little video today to address some questions I've gotten from people in regards to who can do a juice fast or a juice feast, what's required to do a juice feast, how long you should do your juice feast for, and what kinds of things can you expect during a juice feast. First, I do need to preface this video by saying that before starting any kind of a juice feast or cleanse or fast or whatnot, you should talk to a medical professional, a licensed medical professional. Now, I'm into natural healing. I'm not into Western medicine, so for me, my medical professional might be a naturopath or an acupuncturist or a chiropractor or whatever. To each their own, but for legal reasons, so nobody sues me. I should say, make sure you talk to your licensed legal medical practitioner wherever you live. So just to cover all the bases. But anyways, in regards to who can do a juice feast, based on my knowledge, that could be pretty much anybody. Obviously, there are some people that, for whatever reason, may not be able to. I couldn't tell you who should and who shouldn't per se, but that's why, you know yourself. You can speak to your medical professional, whatever, doctor and whatnot, and decide for yourself. However, there are certain things that a person can do to have a successful juice fast or juice feast, and there are a few things to keep in mind when you're juice feasting. Number one, the one of the most important things to realize is that a juice fast or a juice feast is very cleansing. If you do it properly, you can actually do it, and you can cleanse and you can reduce your cleansing symptoms by juicing lots of leafy green vegetables, by doing enemas and getting colonics, by drinking enough juice on a daily basis and getting daily exercise and adequate sunlight, and doing like skin brushing and whatnot. But most people watching my videos are probably gonna say, hey, this guy did 100-day juice feast and lost a lot of weight, and I want to lose a lot of weight too. Okay, so one of the things that is important to address with this is that if you are new to juicing, you've never really done juicing before, you're not really that knowledgeable about raw food, you're just coming from standard American diet, junk food diet, whatever, and you want to go and do a juice feast. Now, I definitely applaud your efforts for wanting to do this. Kudos to you for wanting to make improvements in your health and overall well-being. But I don't recommend a juice feast for you, at least not right away. What I would recommend, though, is juicing on a daily basis. Now, start your day every day by having a green juice in the morning. Instead of, in place of your breakfast, have a nice big green juice, and you could make juice and have it throughout the day to sip, and to, just enjoy, like you might enjoy a snack, so that you aren't craving, junk food in the afternoon, and to keep your energy boosted throughout the day. In my case, I've done a lot of juice feasting over the years. I'm very knowledgeable about it, and one of the dangers, though, of juicing to lose weight is that when you're done juicing, you can very easily gain it back. Now, sadly, most people who do juice feasts, who are doing it just to lose weight, are going to gain the weight back. You're going to gain the weight back, and you may even gain even more, because when you clean your body out and your metabolism slows down, it ends up retaining a lot. The body ends up retaining a lot more fat afterwards. Your digestion is different, and if you go back into eating your old habits, you will gain the weight back, and you will get fatter than you were in the beginning. I have personally experienced this myself more than once. Now, in my scenario, I have been doing this for years, and I've done raw foods off and on for years, and certainly there is the danger that I could do this again. I could, stop doing the juice feast, and I could go back, and I could gain all the way back and even more. I'm going to do the best I can not to do that, and I'm doing some things this time around that I feel are beneficial to me and are going to motivate me to not do that again. One of them is this summer I quit a job that I really, really hated. I was working a retail job, and it paid my bills, and I was grateful for it for the time being, but it really wasn't meeting my spiritual needs. It was paying the bills, but it wasn't helping my heart, helping my spirit, and it was really stressing me out. And now I'm doing something I love. I'm doing massage. And I'm working on building up my clients and my financial base, which is certainly going to help everything in terms of stability in the long run, which also helps me in my weight, in keeping myself motivated. But I'm also, even though I'm not eating right now, I'm attending raw food potlucks and gatherings and surrounding myself with the kind of people I want to be motivated by. And I'm also getting rid of negativity in my life, and I've dropped I've dropped some negative people out of my life, and making some new awesome friends, reconnecting with good older friends. And that's all going to help me to do the juice feast and finish it up and end up eating healthy and staying slim and getting in even better shape, because right now I've lost a lot of weight. I still need, I don't look like it in this video, but I'd like to lose more in the belly area down here, get that toned up a little bit, get my chest more in shape, get my arms a little stronger, build up my endurance, maybe do some jogging and do a lot of yoga, things like that. So anyways, as I was saying, so I have yo-yoed over the years, and with me, I've actually been pretty good about, like, during other juice feasts, it actually took me a couple months to really start eating junk again and gaining weight. But juice feasting is not the solution to weight problems. Now, it will cause you to lose weight, but it is not the solution to your eating issues. So I would definitely suggest to people who are doing this just to lose weight, you definitely need to seek other outside help. I would recommend, there are several different things you can do. There's Overeaters Anonymous, which is a 12-step group just like Alcoholics Anonymous, to help people with their eating issues. There is Raw Food Rehab, which is an online forum to help motivate people to have a positive focus on their diet and continue going forward with raw foods and keeping them motivated and positive. You could also seek a therapist. You could join Weight Watchers. I mean, there are a lot of different things, but the Juice Feast has many levels to it. Beyond just losing the weight, you'll also find that you clean your body out a lot. You really, really clean a lot of old built-up toxins. You get more clarity of mind. Your taste buds change. When you start eating again after a long juice feast, you're not going to crave the same foods as much anymore. You might think you do psychologically in the beginning, and you go to eat something and you'll be like, whoa, I don't like this anymore. I was expecting this to taste really delicious, and now it just tastes like poop. And yeah, so you definitely want to surround yourself with positive and motivated people to support you and educate yourself on nutrition. Now, I have been educated for years in nutrition and raw foods and juicing, and when you're juice feasting too, it's really important to know what to juice and what's going to keep you healthy and what's going to keep you going. And basically what's going to keep you going are greens. Greens. Any kind of leafy green that is safe to make a juice out of and drink, you should get in your body every day. Get tons and tons of it in your body. It's where your protein comes from, your calcium, your vitamins and minerals. It's where you're going to get your extra energy. It's basically what's going to sustain you, and it's what's going to heal you. Now, when you're juice feasting, some people will do some fruits, some sweet fruits, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't do them, but you definitely should limit them. During this juice feast, in the beginning, I did a lot of citrus juices, and since then, I've kind of calmed down with that, and I do mostly greens, and I'll have some coconut water, and I will have, a little bit of citrus juice, usually once a day, just a tiny bit though, not like the amount I was drinking before, which was, like half of my juice intake for the day. You want to do the greens, and in the beginning, you're gonna probably think the greens taste nasty if you aren't already in the whole raw greens kick. And the longer you juice feast, you're going to crave more and more. Like in the beginning, I'd be putting in a head of kale and just gagging on the flavor and thinking, bleh, this is gross. Even though I was diluting it with cucumber and celery and sometimes carrots and all that, I was just not enjoying it very much in the beginning. It actually took me quite a while juicing again to really get to that place of really actually craving and wanting the greens more. And I probably would have actually craved more of them sooner had I not been doing the massive quantities of orange juices that I was making in the beginning. So now I may throw in 2 heads of kale, a bunch of cilantro, a bunch of parsley, a half a cabbage, 2 full heads of celery, or maybe I said celery already. Just tons of greens. I mean, I remember one day I put like probably 6 large bunches of greens in there, and the juice was good. I actually really liked it, and I really enjoyed going to the farmer's market every week and getting new greens. Like in the beginning, my main juice was cucumber, celery, kale, and now I throw things in like dandelion green, chickweed, miner's lettuce, stinging nettles, arugula, radicchio, endive, mint, parsley, cilantro, just all kinds of amazing greens, and some different root vegetables like parsnip and celeriac, however you say it, basically celery root. But there are specific kinds of celery that the root is harvested for specifically. You're just going to start craving those greens more and more every day, and you're going to love it, and you're going to feel so good having those greens in your body. You do not want to go to the store and do a juice fast drinking Odwalla or Naked Juice or even going to Jamba Juice, because that is not good quality juice. And doing a short-term juice feast, or if you live in an area where you have a hard time getting organic produce, you can juice feast on non-organic produce. However, I don't personally recommend it unless you're not in a financial place to buy organic, in which case I think juicing is better than not juicing. So definitely, go to your farmers markets if you are having trouble affording your greens, and talk to some of the farmers, because some farmers aren't certified organic, but they don't actually use pesticides. They do practice organic farming, so they, for all intents and purposes, are organic or pretty close to it. Definitely better than what you'd get at the grocery store. I apologize, my video here is a little bit incoherent because I'm trying to think of all these things that I should tell you folks in this video, because I've been getting a lot of questions from people lately wanting to juice. One of the other things is too, if you're on medications and you do a juice feast, you may find a few different things happen while you're juicing. One of them, you may find that if you are, checking up with your doctor regularly, you may be able to reduce your medications, or depending on what kind you're taking, you may need more. But I would say more often it's probably that you would need less. You may find that your medications are now more potent, and so that's why if you are using medications, prescription Western allopathic medications, you want to work with your doctor while you're doing this, especially. If you're not on medications and all that, and you're just a natural person, obviously that's one less thing to worry about. But let's see, what else am I doing here? While I'm juicing, I'm doing the colon cleansing. I do an enema pretty much every single day now. In the beginning, I did it, every day, and then I kind of did it every few days, and then I was doing it like once a week, or one time I think I waited more than a week. Don't do that. It's not good. If you're juice feasting, especially if you're doing a long one, you need to be doing enemas every single day. And when you do the enema, what you can do is go to the drugstore or go to a medical supply store and buy one of those red enema bags. Don't go and buy Fleet enema with saline solution. That's no good. You want to use warm, purified, or spring water. And you want to use at least a full one of those red enema bags. It also is usable as a hot water bag as well. And you want to make sure to do that every day. And you also want to get some source of probiotics other than what's naturally in the juice in your system when you're doing it, because when you do the colon cleansing, you tend to deplenish, maybe that's not even the right word, you tend to lose a lot of the probiotics in your intestines, in your colon. So you want to replenish it, and you can, if you have access to a lot of wheatgrass juice or you grow your own wheatgrass juice, you could do a wheatgrass implant, which essentially means giving yourself an enema with a small amount of wheatgrass juice. But a lot of people that's just not convenient for, so you could either buy a good quality probiotic supplement, or you could just do what I do and drink a kombucha every day. Or if you have access to like sauerkraut juice, just a small amount of that every day. You don't want a lot because it has salt in it. And I actually recently got some from the farmer's market, and I really enjoyed it. The first time I went to the farmer's market and got it, it was like heaven because I hadn't had salt in a long time. But after having it a couple times, I don't want it anymore. It's really tasty, but I just can't take the salt. My body doesn't want the salt. Maybe if it was more diluted or mixed with other things, I'd crave it, but I'm really just not wanting the salt. Let me think. So for people who are just starting out in the beginning, how long you should do your juice fast for, I would say it's going to vary from person to person, but when I did it for the very first time, I did a 3-day. I didn't know what I was doing. I was buying frozen juice from concentrate. I did it for 3 days. It was a nightmare. Not a nightmare, but it was really tough. I didn't know about juicing at home or greens or all that, and I'm sure it would have been better. Later on, then I did like a 7-day juice feast, and then I did a 10-day, I did a 2-week, and then I did a 30-day. And this is all over a period of probably like 3 to 4 years or more. And then finally, after I'd been into juicing and I'd been vegan for 12 years, I started this 100-day juice feast now, and I have all the knowledge to do it and do it the right way and to take care of my health. So you definitely want to get educated on this. Don't just go into it and ask, people ask me all the time, what's your recipe? How do you do it? How long do you do it? And all this. Do your research. An excellent website is juicefeasting.com or .org. I'm not sure. Hosted by David Renoshek and his family and some other folks. I haven't actually read their book, but I've been to their website and heard good things about them. And essentially, I'm doing the same thing that they teach there for the most part. So get yourself educated. Get yourself a medical checkup. Track your history. Take photos on a daily basis. That's what I'm doing too. If you're, bigger and you're losing weight anyway. Make sure you get daily exercise, because that's going to help with the detox a lot, and it's going to take the edge off when you feel like you need to eat. And do your best to try and stay away from lots of good smelly food. I mean, obviously if you live with other roommates or family that's cooking, it's harder, you can't really avoid it, but maybe when they're cooking, try and get out of the house or try and go in your room or get away from the odors, because it's the smells of foods that you like that really bring on the psychological cravings, even though you're feeding all your nutritional and caloric needs. So let me think, is there anything else I need to add to this? So when you are knowledgeable and you do have a lot of experience and information and a lot of prior detoxing under your belt like I do, you could juice feast for a long time. I mean, there's not even a limit. I could go for 200 days. I could go for a year. I could probably live on juices and I would be in excellent, amazing health. But do educate yourself. Don't just go into it blind and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to lose weight, I'm gonna feel good and all that, because you know, you might, but you may end up injuring your health if you do it the wrong way, if you know, don't get enough greens and whatnot. So definitely just be careful. And I guess that's pretty much it. I don't want to be redundant, keep repeating myself again. But in other news, updating from the past few days, I did a couple videos recently where I was a little bit hoarse. I was dealing with some sinus stuff, as I mentioned, which was it was directly related to some dental work I had done years ago, and I had a root canal in the crown that got infected, and it's been reinfecting itself every few months. I used a lot of grapefruit seed extract, and I've finally taken care of it again, although I still have a little bit of residual post-nasal drip drainage, which is why I'm still coughing up a little bit of phlegm right now. But for the most part, I'm doing great, and because I've been doing Juice Feast, I didn't get really sick like I normally do when I start to get the sinus issues. And after I'm done juicing and I'm eating really healthy raw all the time, it'll be the same. If I get a recurrence, then I'm not going to get really sick like I used to. So we also want to have a plan when you're done juicing of what you're going to eat again, how you're going to break your fast, and it's really, really important to break the fast gently, especially if you do an extended one, if you do, you know, more than 5 to 7 days. Essentially, you want to start very light. Now, if you're doing a long one like I'm doing now, a lot of juice feasting gurus and teachers recommend breaking it with soaked prunes, and I'll probably do that because it gets the intestines going, it kind of gets the bile flowing and all that stuff to help just kind of push things through and stimulate your digestive system. And then I'd recommend eating things like melons, and just kind of mono-eat melons, meaning don't eat anything but melon for a couple days, and drink, you know, you can still keep making juices and drink juices too, but try and do it at separate times. Like have a juice, wait half an hour or to an hour, and then have some melon. And just do this for, you know, a few days, maybe not an hour actually, you could probably wait like 15-20 minutes after having your juice. But I just say to separate them so when the melon hits your stomach, there's nothing else in your stomach, even though it was just juice, because melon is something that ferments easy. You could probably actually have them together and it wouldn't be a big deal, but that's just my recommendation. You could also, as the days progress more, you know, switch to other kinds of fruits. Try and stay with something that's less cruciferous. Like, don't go right into apples. Apples, the fiber is insoluble, so it's gonna be a little bit harder to digest. Although, if you blended it up, maybe it would be a little bit better, but still insoluble fiber. And try and save like heavy things like bananas and avocados. Save that for later. You could do green smoothies though. After a couple days, you know, blend up some greens with some fruit and lots of water and make it very light, and enjoy. And just take your time. And if you are going to go back and eat, you know, cooked food, which I haven't decided yet, I might eat some cooked food, just a little bit, like quinoa and maybe some, I don't know, sprouted beans or something like that. I don't know for sure yet. We'll see where my palate is and then if those things even appeal to me afterwards. But either way, I'll be doing mostly raw, and make sure you formulate a plan. But if you are going to eat cooked foods, and if you did a 100-day juice feast, give yourself at least a couple weeks before you start eating foods like that again. And definitely try and stay healthy and low fat, and just be gentle with yourself. So anyways, I hope my babbling and jumping all around the subjects isn't too confusing. Definitely I will in the future make more videos like this where I talk about juicing and what's beneficial and how to do it and all this. I'd actually like to formulate like some kind of online training at some point, and maybe I will do group juice feasting and coaching. So I'd be interested in doing that eventually, but for now we'll wait and see. We'll get through this first and see where things go. I'm looking forward to eating in, let's see, 20 days now, less than 20 days, because it's after midnight now, so 19 days I'll be eating again, and it's exciting and it's kind of scary at the same time. So it'll be an intense journey, and I'm contemplating on my last day of juicing having a silent day like I did in the first day. We'll see yet. We'll see how it goes. And I guess you will find out soon what I do. So anyways, namaste. Thank you for joining me, folks. If you have any questions or comments, post them down below. I'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe to my channel. And also check out my blog, tastyveganreview.blogspot.com. I have just recently mostly been just updating it with these videos here, but in the future it will be a place of more information, recipes, if I do offer any training or coaching courses, also reviews of vegan venues and products and health plans and all sorts of crazy, fun, organic, vegan, hippie stuff. So, namaste, thank you for joining me today. May peace be with you and good luck on your journeys. Love you folks, and I'll see you.